Welcome. I know that it can be very overwhelming with so many resources because you like jump in and you're like, I'm getting this email, I'm in this group. So don't stress too much about that. Do never hesitate to text me and ask me any questions. I rather hear from you guys and know you have questions and know you're trying than be like, I'm just overwhelmed, I'm just not going to do anything. Because that's the worst thing you could do for yourself and that you just invested this amount of money, right? So we want to get the best results we can. Each of you guys really jumped into our test group experience. And basically what that means is like, we're like balls to the walls, gonna get the best results we possibly can. And I keep saying in the next 21 days, but basically it's 42. So we're going to focus on these next 21 days because this is the first 3 weeks of the program of MBF or whatever program you're doing. And then again, it's paired by that second 21 days of advanced. So it's basically 6 weeks, 42 days. We'll be in this together, but I really just want us to not stress about the next 21 days and focus on the 21 days in front of us. Because if we can focus on 3 weeks being the best version of us, we're going to see amazing results that are going to transform into that next 21 days when we take it up a notch, maybe add on 5 to 10 minutes of each workout, okay? So I'm going to share my screen, kind of put together this little presentation. But really, like, so most of you guys signed up. I mean, all of you had to, but with the VIP coach discount. And I think sometimes that really scares people when they dive into the coaching side. And so some of this presentation has a little bit of how this could impact you if you do decide to become a coach, but also how it's going to help you just become the best version of you. So going all the way in instead of being like, like I'm kind of showing up in the group or I'm kind of sending Maddie my progress photos 2 out of 3 days of the month or out of the 21 days. You can't miss a day, right? We have to be all in so that we see all the results. So number one, why results matter. Think outside the box. When you get results, you're proving to yourself that you can do this, that maybe you have started and stopped things in the past. Maybe you've done it for 18 days and in those last 3 days you go and get Dairy Queen or you go and eat McDonald's hash brown, whatever it might be, right? Like our guilty pleasures. But if you prove to yourself that for these next 3 weeks, 3 Mondays, 21 days that you can do this, you prove to yourself that you can kick any freaking caffeine addiction or alcohol for the next 21 days. I went all in with this plant-based 21-day cleanse in January of the beginning of this year. And it was no caffeine, no alcohol for 21 days, basically no meat either. And that was way outside my comfort zone. But when I did that, I have proved to myself that one, that was the best version I've ever seen my body since my sophomore year of high school. I lost 15 pounds. And that's probably like 10 pounds less than I am right now. And I love where I'm at right now because I can still have 80-20 rule, right? Like I don't want you guys to feel like if you eat some popcorn, like everything's gone, like you lost all your results, you're back to square one. Because it's not an all or nothing thing. And I'll say that over and over again because sometimes with coaching, people think it's all or nothing. Like I have to post 24/7 and I have to be sending invites and I have to do all these things. That's not what coaching is either. It's not all or nothing. It's you being the best version of yourself. And then maybe you ask people to join you, or maybe people ask you, what are you doing? You look amazing. And you say, I'm doing Beachbody workouts. Would you want to try one? Right? So it doesn't have to be super, this is my full-time job like it is for me, because that's not what everybody's goals are. But maybe it's to help you pay for your products this month or whatever it might be. But when you get results, you feel so much different when you see somebody's results that are like somebody you know. Like when you see my results compared to the stock image of somebody from MBF, it's different, right? Like when people see you getting results compared to somebody they have no idea who they are, it's so different. So your job and goal for these next 21 days is to get the best results that you possibly can so that you have a transformation photo that maybe you don't publicly share because that feels like so like out of your comfort zone. Maybe you do, but you're sharing it with me. So every single Sunday, you are expected to send me your progress photos of that week. Maybe it's through Facebook Messenger. I'd rather have you send them to my email, healthy.happy.maddie@gmail.com. That's the best way. And it's not for me necessarily. Like I'm not posting these. Like these are just for you to feel safe. But it's for you to have that accountability that you have to send me a photo on Sunday. You don't just get to mess around Friday, Saturday, and feel like you have crappy results and send them. You're never going to want to send them on Sunday. So if you have that accountability that I'm expecting those results every Sunday to see in my inbox, it's going to help you stay accountable, and it's going to help me see where you're struggling maybe, or where you're going right, and we can give you a huge shout out. Like whatever it might be, it's so important to get those results, get that transformation, and prove to yourself that you possibly can do this. And that comes with that consistency. And the only reason I also shared just a little bit about coaching too and getting that result is that I would not be here 3 years later, you guys, if it wasn't for coaching. Because it's great to get results and feel good, but it's you guys that hold me accountable to show up on Monday. It's having 2 friends that invested in me or trusted me to be their coach to show up, even if I don't know what I'm doing. It's that like, well, if she's going to show up, I have to show up type of mentality. So that's why that consistency really matters, that I'm consistent every single day. You see me drink my Energize, you see me do my workout. And even if that's not public for you and you're just in the bod group doing this, that's going to help you get the best transformation and results. Okay. And just going into a little bit of immersion, like dive into the group, get as close to the fire as you possibly can. If you're half in, half out, like, I just don't really, want to make a ton of new friends, or I just don't know if I want to get on those calls on Sundays, do it, because it's going to keep you accountable. It's going to help you stay in the trenches with us. Dig through these 20 Mondays. It's not going to be the easy walk in the park on Friday when all your friends are going to go get ice cream and you're like, I just can't do that, right? Like you can still go, bring your water, bring your sparkling cider, whatever it might be, like your LaCroix or whatever, right? Like you have us to lean on when things get hard. Don't hesitate to ask out. Don't hesitate to reach out and ask questions. I promise we are here to help support you through this journey, okay? And then every Sunday around, I think 11 most of the time, we'll have like Sunday Q&A calls so you guys can ask us anything, or say you're like, okay, I'm eating on meal plan A, but I just feel like I'm so hungry, or 2 or 3 veggies isn't enough. Like, what should I do? Like, we will be here on Sundays for you guys to ask those questions. And if you have it during the week, you can just text us. But me, Sarah, a couple of our leaders are going to be running those. So it's not just me every week. So you can get kind of a different insight, because all of us run it a little bit differently. Like Sarah's pregnant right now doing MBF. So if you are pregnant or breastfeeding or whatever, we have other coaches in the group that are where you're at. So that's a great resource to use. But we'll all be kind of hosting those. All of us have been a coach for over 6 months, so we can all help you. And then again, Sunday, sending your progress photos, and then checking in every single day with your workout. So on the bod group, if you guys haven't really looked, it's a little confusing now because the group really launches tomorrow. So when you're on your app on your phone for Beachbody On Demand, tomorrow, once you finish your workout, it'll say track it, and then you can track it exactly into your group. Right now, it makes you just like post a photo to the group, which is fine, but being able to track it is so much easier and it takes less time. So basically, you're just going to post up your sweaty selfie, you'll track it in the group, and then each week, whoever has the most tracks, or whoever's checked in the most with shakes, or whatever giveaway kind of fun thing. I always do different challenges each week because it keeps me excited as well. Like last week we did a spirit week, whatever it is. But the more that you check in, the more opportunities you're going to get, the more support you're going to get. So don't be scared, because everybody in here is in the same exact spot. Nobody's perfect, right? Nobody has the best body in the world and they shouldn't be here. Like we all have our own insecurities. We all are battling different things in our lives. We're all going through the same weird thing with quarantine and COVID and all this stuff. So lean in. We are all here to support each other. No matter what your goals are, we are here for you, okay? Also, like, find new friends, meet new friends, find a success partner. Every single morning we have this exact Zoom link is like the link for everything. It's like the gold link. So in the morning, if you want to work out with us live, like I always work out at 6 a.m. Pacific time, jump on that link and hold each other accountable. Or text me the night before and be like, Maddie, I'm jumping in with you. Because then I'm going to be texting your butt and be like, where are you? Where's your alarm clock? Get up, let's go. But if you're on like East Coast time, or you need to work out at a different time, find somebody in the group, make a post and be like, hey, who works out at X time? Let's do it together. Because that's how you're going to really dive into this group, and that's how you're going to hold yourself accountable, okay? If that's not your jam, don't worry. But I feel like it's one of those resources that a lot of people are like, oh, I like the gym. It's because you see people around you. When you jump on the Zoom, like no one's just like watching you work out. Like everyone else is working out too, but it's just like that extra support that you have. And then, like I said, this goes for if you're asking me a question or anything, like if you never ask, you'll never know the answer, or the answer is always going to be no. So maybe you reach out to a friend and you ask them to do the workout with you or try a sample with you. You'll never know unless you ask. So just get vulnerable in that sense, because it's going to help open up so many different options for you. And if you are interested in coaching or more about that, maybe week 2 or week 3, and you're like, oh, I'm getting good results, people are asking me, reach out too. You can always jump on our team calls, which is this Zoom link, on Tuesdays at 6 Pacific time. And they're just fun. Like we just have different trainings. Sometimes it's mindset, sometimes it's social media, whatever it might be. But it's just kind of a fun way to really immerse yourself in the team. Okay, this is duplication. I'll go through this quickly because I know you guys are like, I didn't sign up for a coach call. I wanted to dive into this program. But I just like to give you guys ideas of maybe down the road, just planting the seed that this could possibly be for you if you just focus on your journey, because that's all it was for me. It was a 21-day program, just like you guys are doing right now, that I lost 11 pounds in those 21 days, and my teammates and people around me are like, what the heck are you doing? You're killing it. And I was like, oh, I'm doing this thing called Beachbody, and never thought I would do it. But I mean, if you want to try a workout, let's do it. And like, I just had people come to my house and work out with me, and it was so fun. And then it started to get into a business, and it started to help more people. And now we have over 300 people on our team, and we're ranked number 175 out of like 500,000 coaches. So if there's a team that you want to be a part of, it's right here. Maybe that's not right now for you, but maybe in the future. So just know that we have this for you. And like I said, it's not all or nothing. If you just want to help one person, great. If you want to help a couple people and pay for your products, wonderful. Like you have such different ideas when it comes to coaching. It doesn't have to be I'm all in or I'm all out. It could be whatever you kind of want, okay? And then just some takeaways so that I can open up to questions, because I know you guys probably have some specific questions, but basically your action reflects the results that you want. If it's not the result that you're getting, you have to change the action. So basically what I'm saying here is that if you want to lose 8 to 10 pounds in this next week, what do you have to do, right? It comes down to nutrition, focusing on your workout, and drinking a lot of water. But if you're not getting the results, reflect. Like, what is it that I'm missing? Am I eating more carbs than I'm allotted in my Ultimate Portion Fix? Or if I'm doing 2B mindset, am I actually plating my food like Alana's telling me? So dive into those nutrition programs that you get. Like, I am portion fixed to the T, but some people aren't. That's not for them. So you don't have to follow anything that I do. And I think that's so important, because I think a lot of us think, okay, if Maddie's doing this, we have to do what Maddie's doing. But it has to do with what works best for you. So ask and reach out, and I can help you direct you more on those meal plans, and you guys can ask me questions on that. But figure out what it is that you're missing. Maybe you have to go, there's a nutrition app for Beachbody, and you can cross off the containers if you're doing the containers. And sometimes even 3 years into this, I have to do that, because I'll be like, oh, I know what my portions are. Or, oh, I know like that I'm eating 3 carbs and 3 veggies and 4 whatever. But when I write it down, I'm like, oh crap, like I am not sticking to these portion sizes, or maybe I'm just indulging a few too many times a week. Whatever it might be, sometimes getting back to those basics, if you've been a coach for a while or if you're brand new, figuring out, am I sticking to the meal plan? And there's so many resources when it comes to that too. So don't hesitate if that's where you feel like you're struggling, okay? Always reverse engineer your goals. If it's to lose 10 pounds in these next 21 days, 10 divided by 3 weeks is what? Like 3 to 4 pounds a week that you're averaging, right? So that you can hit your goal by the end. So focus on the small goals, 2 to 3 pounds, 3 to 4 pounds, whatever it might be. If maybe it's not even pounds, maybe you're trying to gain weight. Maybe you're just trying to lose inches. Maybe you're trying to build muscle, but figure out what those goals are and then reverse engineer it by week. Don't look at the big picture of like, I need to lose 40 pounds or I need to lose X, Y, and Z. Break it down week by week. Small goals are going to help you stay on this rather than getting overwhelmed by the big picture, okay? And the way to hit goals, do the work when the reward isn't always in sight. Like I incentivize myself. So if I was like one of you guys, I'd be like, oh, I want those leggings by the end of the 42 days if I stick to my goals, or by the end of the 21 days, if I don't have a cheat, I'm going to get myself blah, blah, blah. Like that is how I live my life because I have to incentivize myself to stick to things. So if that works for you, do it. Right. But the reward isn't going to always be there. It's not going to always be this like beautiful picture. You're like, okay, cool, I'm going to be there. You have to do it when it's hard. You have to do it when you don't want to. That's when you're going to continue to show up. So where do you want to be in your head? Write it down. Or if you have a piece of paper, where do you want to be at the end of these next 21 days? Where do you want to be at the end of the next 42 days after both MBF and MBFA? Or maybe it's at the end of 6 months, because there is 6 months left of 2020 and we have the decision right now to either make it the best 6 months or continue on this roller coaster of life and emotions and so many things going on. We have the control in our life to choose where we want to go. And if you need to be surrounded by positive, like-minded people, this is the group. And that's why I always say, like, when you get started, it's not just like, here's your fitness program or here's your workout program. It's like, here's a community of people to surround yourself with that have the bigger vision of life, to have a way to create happiness and what fulfillment, whatever it might be. But the 5 people that you surround yourself with are what you're going to be. So if you're surrounding yourself with people that don't like to work out, they don't eat healthy, all these negative things, that's what's going to take you down. So lean into this group, find somebody that's like-minded with you or somebody that has the same goals and visions as you to surround yourself with so you can be uplifted rather than in that dungeon of darkness trying to help them come out. You want to level yourself up with people that are doing more than you so that you level up, okay? And then I just add a little incentive. If you bring 2 friends into the group, I will send you a $15 gift card to Starbucks, but I don't want to say Starbucks because for me, Starbucks is like caramel frappuccino and like that's not going to help you in these next 21 days. So maybe it's Amazon so that you can get a pair of leggings because I just got these for $20. They're colorful koala and I'm obsessed with them. But if you bring in 2 friends in the next week to join our group or by the end of the group, whatever, I will send you $15 gift card to Amazon. That sounds better than Starbucks. Just a fun little incentive to kind of get outside your comfort zone and invite 2 people to join us. It doesn't have to be, oh my God, I'm going to run with this. I'm going to be the top coach, whatever it is for you, but have 2 friends. It's going to hold you accountable. You'll get them signed up just the way you did. And then you feel like, okay, we're going to do this together rather than being alone on an island. Okay. So last few takeaways. Don't negotiate your dreams, right? We don't ever negotiate spending $40 to go out on date night or $40 for a trip to TJ Maxx or Target. But we were like, oh my God, $40 on healthy food at the grocery store. Like, God forbid, this is like spending so much, right? So we have to recognize what our goals are so that when we realize like budget, like I had never been good at budgeting until I became a coach too. Like that was one thing I was like, oh, I'm going to splurge on this and this and this, right? So just be intentional with what you're spending your money on. But recognize like, am I fulfilling what I want? Am I fueling my body with foods that are going to help me get to the results I want? Again, what are you willing to give up now to live the life that you want later? Like girls' night, is that going to include wine and dips and all the things that are going to take your goals down, maybe for the next 21 days? And it sucked. I was in college when I did this, and I literally didn't go out one weekend, and like my friends were so mean about it, but I knew that I would fall into so many temptations if I did it, and I knew where I wanted to go. So maybe if you keep picking up shifts at your job and it's not fulfilling you and you feel like it's literally degrading you and you're not doing good on your goals and whatever your life wants to, like where you want to go, stop doing those things, right? Be realistic with where you want to go in these next 21 days, 42 days, 6 months, whatever, you know? But hesitation kills success. You have to be in motion to gain momentum. Okay? So a lot of people ask me, motivation, how do you stay motivated? How do you never give up? It's a habit. You have to go all in for the next 21 days and set your alarm, get up, have someone hold you accountable. Because if you don't, and one day you're like, I'll just sleep in, you know, I'll be fine. And then the next day you're like, oh, well, I'm just not motivated. And then the next day you don't work out, right? Like that could just be such a downward spiral. So you have to get in motion to gain that momentum to keep going towards your goals, okay? And this is for everything, but you can never say the right thing to the wrong person, right? Like if it's the right person that wants to hear that they want to join you, great. But you can never feel like you're going to say the wrong thing. I always like hesitated with asking people to like work out with me or do whatever with me or maybe eat healthy with me. But like you can never say the right thing to the person that doesn't want to hear it. So that's just good life advice. But I will turn it over to any questions you guys have. If you guys want me to go through the BOD groups and kind of show you if you guys are confused there, I'm more than happy to. Oh, there's a question maybe in the chat. Do you have to check in at a certain time? No. So if you are sending me your progress photos, that's just any time on Sunday that's convenient for you, because I know during the summer, a lot of us are like traveling or going on trips. So whatever it is, just try and get those to me by Sunday. If you can't, let me know. If you're checking in on the BOD group, just whenever you finish your workout. So you don't have to work out at the same time as anybody else. So just check in once you're done with your workout. And you can also set up reminders, because I suck at checking in. Like I know a lot of us will do our workouts and then we just like forget to check in. Set reminders on your phone. That's going to be like a really good push for you to like continue to do it throughout the 21 days or whatever it is. Trying to think. Sarah, do you have any questions or input or anything that I missed? Okay, I saw that the app has a way to upload progress pictures. Is it better just to email them to you instead of through the app? So when it comes to the progress photos, so you can do them in the app maybe for you personally, but I like to be able to see it and I can't always see it in the app. Also, back in May when they like redid the app, it like crashed and everybody lost all their progress photos, all their measurements and all that stuff. So I would never want that to happen again. So I think it's good to kind of have it in two different places if that's possible, or maybe in your notes section, you kind of write down your measurements beforehand too. Because sometimes people like, I think progress photos are just so important because number one, the scale might not move this first week that you're doing this. Muscle burns fat, right? Muscle could be growing and you feel like you're stagnant. You're not changing anyway, nothing's changing, but then you look at a progress photo and you're like, holy crap, what did I just do, right? And so many times I have girls, I'm like, just send me your progress photo. I don't care about the scale. Like, that's the one thing with 2B mindset that I don't like, is that you're supposed to weigh yourself every single day. And I feel like that can be so detrimental to someone's journey because they just get so in their head about the scale. Like, screw the scale. Maybe weigh yourself on day 1, weigh yourself on day 21, but worry about progress photos over the scale. Okay, cool, Sarah. How would you send your progress photos on Sunday? You can just email those to me if you guys should all have my email, but it's healthy. I'll put it in the chat. happymaddie@gmail.com. And if I'm not your personal coach, you can send them to your coach if you feel more comfortable. It's totally up to you. It's just that accountability piece more than anything. And then also for me to be like, stop freaking out. You are changing. Look at your body, because I think that happens a lot. But yeah, if you want to use the app, you're more than welcome to as well. Anything with nutrition, I know that can be kind of like, I don't know, hard in the beginning. Would you guys want me to go over kind of how to figure out your meal plan and that type of thing? Yeah, okay, I see Gretchen nodding her head. Okay, let me pull up the BOD group right now. I think everybody would love it. Okay. So Sarah did a really good video on this that I put in the email I think I sent you guys yesterday. So if I'm sending you emails and you haven't got them, it's because it's probably going to your spam. So make sure that you check there as well. But so if you're on Beachbody On Demand, you can do this on your phone, you can do this on your iPad, you can do this on the computer. But Beachbody On Demand is going to have all your programs and the BOD groups. So when you go to programs, hopefully you guys can kind of see this. Introduction to nutrition is really important because you can see the two differences between 2B mindset is this one and ultimate portion fix. They're very different, but they're also centered around veggies most, right? We all know that vegetables are so key, and that's the hardest part for anybody. Like, I don't like vegetables. Like, I will say it. Like, it's not my thing, but I do it because I'm an adult and I have to fill my body with healthy foods. I will not see results if I just continue to eat Chick-fil-A, even though I would love to, right? So let's go to Ultimate Portion Fix. I also think people think I'm like perfect when it comes to nutrition, and I'm like far from it, but I do my best. And that's one of the things is like 80-20. Like, if you feel like oh my God, I am going to eat a bite of chocolate. Like one of my things that I do a lot is like, I'll just have like 10 chocolate chips and then I'll be like, good, that's my fix. Like I don't need to eat a whole Snickers or an entire Hershey bar or whatever it is. But like maybe sometimes it's just that little bit and my whole results are not going to go away because of that. So give yourself some grace sometimes when it comes to just like having I feel like it's a treat, not a cheat. I think Sarah says that too, but it's so true. Okay. So let's look at portion fix, because I feel like a lot of people are kind of doing this. So I would watch these first few modules, but introduction and then why portion control. And then on here, you can go to program materials. Oh God, my dog, like, look at this nasty thing. He's bringing it to me. But so there's the vegan meal plans. There should be one that pops up with MBF soon. I don't think they've done it yet, but I'll show you a couple different things. So now these are in different languages. Murphy, can you stop biting me? Sorry, there literally is so much. It used to not be like this at all. I think it's, okay, so Containers 101. That module 3 is kind of where you want to look. If you don't have access to this because maybe you never bought the, you didn't buy MBF and you didn't have the 2 nutrition programs, that's totally fine. A lot of this you can find if you just Google it. Ow, stop. If you Google it, I'm so sorry. 1 second. Come here. Come on. Come on. Go outside. Now you're just being a jerk. Okay, I'm sorry. It's like having a child. Anyways, maybe not as bad, so I can lock him outside. But so if you don't have this, you can Google it. You can look on Pinterest. There's so many different things to do. Like, this is literally a joke right now. Like, I don't know. But calculating your calorie target is important. So like Sarah was doing this the other day and she's 6 months pregnant. So it looks a little bit different than a lot of us. So you can, if you're focusing on weight loss, you can calculate that. If you're trying to maintain where you're at and build muscle, or if you're trying to gain weight, there's all those different options on here. So this will kind of break it down for you, how to figure out where you're at. Oh, this is the one you kind of need. So if you're not working out, and then if you're working out, and they told us to do moderately challenging. So this would be your thing. If you want to screenshot this, I'll keep it on the page for a while. But this is to find out where your baseline is. So once you find out where your baseline is, it's basically your current weight times 11 is where your baseline is. And then if you're trying to be in maintenance, you would do plus 400. If you're looking for weight loss, it's minus 750. Can you stop? It's like he's been sleeping all morning, and then he hears me on the phone. He's like, I want to be a pirate. And then this is if you're extremely challenging. So maybe after the 21 days, we recalculate where you're at. And then for the advanced one, we maybe change it up. So that's the cool thing, is that none of this is like you have to do it for the 42 days. Maybe 21 days you do portion fix. The next 21 days you do 2B mindset. Like you can easily change it up based on where we're going. So we can kind of figure that out after the 21 days. You're being so ridiculous. Yeah. Just an attention whore. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so that's kind of on the finding where you're at. Once you know your calorie target, then you can come here to the plans. So that's where you kind of want to figure out what plan you fill into. So most of you will probably be in portion A or portion B. I personally fall into A, but I can't eat an A. Like with the program I'm doing right now, ADD Obsession, they're hour-long workouts. Like I eat in plan B or plan C. So it's not necessarily about like how much little food I can eat. It's about eating good foods every single day. So I always thought I had to be in the lowest plan because I just wanted to lose weight. But sometimes when you're in the lowest plan and you're burning so many calories, your body's going to hold on to the other things that you're eating, and you're not going to see the weight fall off. So maybe you start in plan A, like I said, for the first 21 days, and you get to where you like, maybe you lose 8 pounds, and then the next 21 days, you're like, okay, I feel like I'm advanced. I need to add an extra carb, because basically all you're doing between these 2 different programs is an extra carb and an extra fruit, which basically means you're burning more sugar off that you can use in your workout. So I would encourage you to use those in the morning before your workout so that you can burn it off and use that as fuel. Does that kind of help at all so far? Yeah. So you guys have access to all this, and I really feel like just taking the time to kind of dive in. Like one of the things I always do is like I have this printed, the food calendar, and I have another file I can share with you guys. Where is it? Where's, oh, meal plans. This might help you guys too. This is totally side note that I created. But I think sometimes like this, so this will break it down. It's super easy. I can share this with you guys in the file section of the blog group. But I just print out this food list and put it on my pantry because some of these things, like I'll get sick of eating the same thing. Like I will literally eat the same thing for like 3 weeks and then not want to eat it again. But it helps me with grocery shopping, right? It helps you keep down on costs if you're just buying one thing instead of trying to make a new meal every single day. So most of the time, like my breakfast and lunch are very similar, my snacks. But dinner, I will change up every single night. So it's kind of up to however you want to cook. And if you're cooking for yourself, it's a lot easier because I have to cook for Nick, who's like in category F or whatever. But this food list helps when you're like, okay, I want to change it up. Like, what other veggies have I not really thought of that I could try? So maybe it's jicama. Like, I fell in love with jicama during the Ultimate Reset, but I've never even ate a piece of jicama in my life, right? Like, it's such a weird thing. But you're like, oh, it's on this list. Let me try it. Or maybe it's a purple container and you're like, oh, cantaloupe. Forgot how good I like cantaloupe is. And like, so whatever is at the top of these food lists is the best option for that category. So for your yellow containers, like if you could eat sweet potatoes and yams, I know it's not everybody's forte, but I love sweet potatoes. And if you could eat that for your yellow containers instead of eating waffles or pancakes or bagels, all these white carbs down here, right? But you're eating more brown rice and quinoa and sweet potatoes, that's the best option for your yellow container. Okay. So, oh wait, you guys can't even see this. I'm sharing with the wrong screen. Oh my God, I'm sorry. But I have this PDF I will share with you guys and I think it'll help. But yeah, so just take a look at this. I think it's gonna kind of make more sense. But basically what I want you guys to do, if you haven't already, figured out what plan you're in, A, B, or C. D maybe. Yeah, I think that kind of helps. Any other specific questions on that? Will all the meal plans that you send out work for both plans? Yeah, so that's one of the cool things is that in the meal plans I send at the bottom, I think I'll post or share with you guys and we can kind of look at it. Oh my God, zoom out. So I will actually share this so you can see it. But for this meal plan, so like this will say breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. I like to think of it more as ideas rather than I have to like do this exact meal plan because that stresses me out. Like I like to have options if something doesn't sound great to you. But at the bottom of each recipe, it says portion fixed container. So it breaks it down 1 red, 1 teaspoon, or 2B mindset makes a great protein, right? So when you look at like this red pepper and sweet potato frittata, it'll say portion fix, 1 green, 1/2 a red, 1/2 a yellow, and then 2B mindset, it kind of talks to you like double the serving size or add an additional protein and FFC for a great breakfast option, add veggies or a side salad for lunch. So it'll kind of help you figure out what this looks like. And the best way to do it is just write it down. Also at the end of this, if you were to follow this whole thing, it'll tell you the groceries. So what I like to do is just print this out and then go into my pantry and cross out what I already have. Or you can just make a little, like, you have a side piece of paper and just write what you need. I think that sometimes helps with that portion of going to the grocery store and figuring out what I want to make. But, like, this always has just, like, fun things that I wouldn't even think of, like making my own salsa or apple cinnamon quesadilla. Like, what? But those all fit on your plan. So as long as it fits into your containers for the day, it's a great option. It's a great thing to mix things up. Is it okay to just drink Energize before I work out, or do you recommend actually eating something? I feel like it's so, like, it really depends on the person, because I could eat an entire breakfast meal and do cardio and not throw up, but there's some people that literally cannot eat before without throwing up, you know? I don't know how, like, for this program specifically, I would probably just drink Energize and then work out. But with 80 Day Obsession, I always had a little something, like maybe a boiled egg and half a piece of toast with almond butter and my Energize before my workout, just because they were so long. So it kind of is like how you feel. But as long as it breaks it down into your containers and you put it into your containers and it works for that week, it's whatever really feels good to you. But I personally don't enjoy eating a ton before, so that's just kind of how I am. If we don't have the portion containers yet, what's the best way to go about meals until we get them? So I think I mentioned this, so our packages are like, because it was such a crazy launch and so many, it might take a little while to get your package. They also are doing split packages. So the thing that sold out was the bod ropes, and that's what's going to take a while. But obviously we know we can do workouts with, what are these imaginary jump ropes in our hands. But they will be sending you the rest of your package quicker. So they're kind of doing split. So don't freak out about that. But this image, can I like drop this in here? Oh my God, wait, did that send to everybody? Hold on, that would be super cool. You can find this on, I don't know if you guys can open that, but basically it's a breakdown of like what each container sizes are. And then it tells you what you put in each container. It's the 21-day fix cheat sheet, basically is what it's called. Are you guys able to open that?
Yes, at least I was.
Okay, cool. So that I feel like helps a lot when it comes to like, I don't have my containers, what do I size wise? Because it just tells you like 1 cup or whatever. But basically like your green container is 1 cup, your fruits is 1 cup, and then your red protein is 4 ounces. And the cheat like way to do that is like the palm of your hand is basically 4 ounces, which when you think about it, like when you eat a piece of steak, it's like the size of your entire hand. Or like when we eat salmon, we're like, oh, it's this big. It's like actually our portions are this big. So that's one of the ways like I was like, oh my God, I was overeating for so long. Even though I thought I was eating healthy, most of the time my portions were just so large. And that takes a while to get used to. Like, don't feel like this has to happen day one. I'm going to be like the strictest, because it's going to kind of develop and you're kind of going to get a sense of it better, but that should kind of help. Yeah, the Beachbody bars we have is actually a great workout or great option before workouts too. Like they're smaller, but they're really clean. There's a plant-based one that I love. And those are always good to grab if you're before your workout or something too. So most of the time I send meal plans out on Saturday. Yesterday was an exception. I totally forgot. But I usually get them earlier. So if you guys feel like you meal prep on Saturday, let me know. I can send them out on Thursday. Would that be better if I uploaded them earlier in the week? I mean, obviously it can't hurt, but basically in the bod group, in the file section is where every single week I will have the meal plan. I don't necessarily email it to everyone because sometimes I feel like that gets lost. Better than being in the group, you can just make sure it's always there and it'll always be there. And then you don't have to worry about going back to your emails, because the cool things with these meal plans is that you can mix and match each week. Like, oh, I want to grab this recipe from here and this one from here. You don't have to follow the exact same thing every single week. I hope that makes sense. But they're in the group. I'll try and make sure that I get them up by Saturday morning at the latest, but usually Thursday or Friday. And they'll be in that file section. Or if you're in the Facebook group, they're in the file section of that as well. Any other questions? Those are all really good questions. I hope that kind of helps you guys. But never hesitate to reach out. I can't reiterate that enough because it's such a big resource. Like having a coach that knows what they're doing, because everybody on here does, like all our coaches do. So if you ever have a question, don't hesitate to reach out. PV. So that's more of like for coach things, but basically PV is personal volume points. And so to be considered an active coach, which if you're not really worrying about working the business, it's not the end of the world, but it basically means personal volume. So to be active, you have to have 50 PV, which means you're spending around $50 every 30-ish days. So maybe that's your shakes that would cover it, or Energize and Beach Bars, or Energize and Collagen. So as a newer coach or a newer client, like, and you have that, you get 25% off everything, like utilize that and try a few different things so that you know what you kind of like, because it'll help. There's also like a coach, what is it called? There's like a coach pack that only coaches get that gives you samples of every different product that we have, which is a really cool thing. There's also like a weekender kit that's cool that gives you like beach bars, all the flavors of Energize, Recover, a few different things to try too. So those are always good if you haven't ever tried the products and you want to try it before buying the whole thing. But if you're not like worrying about working the business, PV doesn't matter too much. But if you were like maybe down the road, the cool thing with PV is that if you stay active, you'll never lose volume. And volume's like how coaches earn money, basically. So if you aren't working the business, but you're active, you're accumulating this volume from coaches that are being signed underneath you. So maybe you start working the business and you get to Emerald, which means you just have 2 coaches underneath you or 2 friends joining you, then you can start making an income based off the volume. So it's more of the coaching side, but that's kind of like basically what PV means. But you don't have to worry too much about it. But if you do want to stay active, it's 50 PV. Yeah. Alrighty. Oh, Murphy's barking. All right. But if you guys have any other questions, you can text me after. I am more than happy to answer anything. But I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your Sunday. Let's get pumped for tomorrow. Let's get everybody else rallied up, and let's have an awesome 21 days. I can't wait to see the transformations that come out of here, and just the mental transformations, the clarity, the happiness, just all the things that come from working on yourself and moving your body. So don't feel nervous. Do not feel nervous. Feel excited. You got this. You can't mess it up unless you just quit. I always tell people, like, literally the only way you will fail is if you just quit completely. And if you never do that and you ask questions and you're trying, you're going to see something. So have an awesome rest of your Sunday, and I will see you guys in the morning. Don't hesitate to text me. All right. Bye, guys.